Dear God, I got one question. I need to know, do revolutionaries go to heaven? And if so, may their legacies last forever and their seeds grow. Tell them that we love them so and never let them die slow. It's like we cursed to be born black. We was kings and queens, now look where we at. I know it won't be long before we take it back. I just hope I live long enough to see it happen, and that's a fact. Cause one thing when you pro-black, you might love your people, but they may not love you back. For more than 400 years, we've been under attack. We survived slavery and then they gave us crack. Do revolutionaries go to heaven? 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 I wanna know. Do revolutionaries go to heaven? I hope so. Do revolutionaries go to heaven? I wanna know. Do revolutionaries go to heaven? I hope.
And I want to say first and foremost, thank you for coming on the platform. It's truly an honor, man. You done worked with some giants, you know what I'm saying? So you done contributed to, you know, some of the greatest, you know, artistry and music on the planet, man. That's major.
I'm humble, bro. I appreciate it, man. Appreciate it.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
I got what you do. I'm still out here.
Right, still grinding, still doing it. That's amazing. For the viewers who may not recognize you or they may not know who you are, you know, let them know who you are and definitely where you're from.
Indeed, indeed. Well, my name is Bass Heavy. I'm a record producer. I'm an audio engineer, musician by trade, also an educator. My roots was built in New Orleans. New Orleans hip hop, New Orleans underground hip hop. I also got roots in R&B and jazz. And yeah, now I'm in H-Town in Houston putting it down, but still New Orleans to the bone gristle.
Man, that's what's up. Big shout out to New Orleans. That's a special kind of place, man. Even if you're from the States, when you go down there, it's so amazing, from the food to the music. You know, that's really where our music come from. Congo Square, blues and jazz. You know what I'm saying? That's like Mecca.
Direct conduit from the motherland.
Yeah, and even till today, you still got cats like Wayne and P and Cash Money and No Limit. You know, 100 years later, 200 years later, y'all still running the game. That's major.
Right. That boot love.
Yeah, big shout out to H-Town too.
Oh yeah, man. And I mean, you know how that is. I mean, I transferred out here to Houston after Katrina. You know, back in 2005, when the whole city had to evacuate for a minute, and I just pretty much set roots up here after that.
Okay. Now, how did you even get into music? Like, was it in your family or something in the community, or you got into it in high school? How did you even get?
Definitely my family. My mom's is a singer. My mom's a gospel singer. She was in the church. You know, my whole family was heavy in the church. Matter of fact, the church that I grew up in was literally through our back fence. You know, the back fence of our yard was the parking lot of the church. So it was pretty close to church. So yeah, you know, being around music a lot, going to all the choir rehearsals with my mom, being drug along, and then eventually playing bass at church, and you know, but being exposed to the music early, I started pecking around on the piano like real early, like 6 years old, 7 years old, playing by ear, being able to hear something on the radio and recreate it on it, you know, on the keyboard and that kind of thing. So it was recognized early that I had some musical talent. But I didn't actually start taking formal musical training until I was 10. And at that point, I started going to performing arts school, 6th grade, and started on piano. So that's why I learned music theory and learned how to play the piano, classical. And then I started playing jazz my 8th grade year, you know, and then never left jazz alone. I did that all the way through high school. I went to Performing Arts High School as well. And then I went on down there to New Orleans because I'm originally from Shreveport. I was born and raised in Shreveport, Louisiana. And I went to New Orleans for college. I was a jazz studies major at the University of New Orleans. and electrical engineering. But because back then, you know, they didn't have audio engineering as a major. You know, that didn't come till a little later. So I made up my own major. I put engineering and music together to make my own audio engineering major. But yeah, man. So it started pretty early, you know. But I was blessed to be able to have, you know, some pretty good channels to be able to pick up on it pretty early.
Man, that's a blessing because, like you said, you took it all the way back to the church. A lot of people don't give it up for the church, you know what I'm saying? Because that was their first, you know, live performances, and to get to hear people singing in their family, and you know what I'm saying?
Right. And what I credit the church for was my chops, man. Like, you know, the church was like constant practicing. You know, once I picked up the bass and started playing in the church, man, we had those choir rehearsals. You know, you and the drummer, you battle. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you had to keep it funky. We might play one song for, you know, 30 minutes. So, I mean, you know, that gets your stamina up pretty good, man. So by the time I got to New Orleans, I was a beast, man. I had been playing at church for 3 years at that point.
Okay, wow. And then, like you say, your mom was a singer, so you got it on the genetic side, and you got it, you know, in the environmental side. So that's a blessing too. Shout out to the fam.